Okay, hello everyone. I'm starting the stream with the music and checking the levels as usual. Let me see. I don't know whether the audio is coming in. Okay, let me see. Okay, now I think we have audio. I was just messing with OBS and I don't think we were getting, or we were getting a very old version of what my screen actually was showing. So let me see if the audio is actually correctly being passed through. So I'm gonna talk some nonsense for a little bit until I can confirm. Okay, so volume seems alrighty. Hello, beautiful people. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm happy with the volume. So, brand new songs from Suno. I did a bunch of funky introductions to. You will be hearing them in the new videos that come from our channel. So I'm excited about that. We will listen to some of those. And today, we'll be working in Megaforce again after a couple of weeks already. So there are two things that I want to do first. Like, I'm gonna break Megaforce at the beginning, right? And the reason for that is that Megaforce is using something in Arcade that is called a custom user verifier. And there are a bunch of things that I already want to do, right? So my account, my Arcade account, okay, I kind of make actually the story how it should be, which is Arcade accounts before could only have one project. So it was not a multi-tenant application. It is now. So you can make multiple projects now in your Arcade account, which is super exciting. And what that means really is, just let me get the string running here. So what that means is, what that means is that you now can have multiple projects and a bunch of API keys that are linked to the specific projects. Let me show you. Oh, this is staging for us. right? So I'm in the dashboard now. Let me just move my face out of the way over here. And then I'll move back. Basically, here is, Mateo Torres tenant or organization, right? And I can change these, and I can create more and so on. But more important for Megaforce is we have default projects and demos now. Like we have multiple projects now, right? And before, only the default project was enabled, right? So I will go here, and these will be the API keys. The current one is only for render, which is where I run Megaforce actually. So the problem with this is that user verification is a custom user verifier, which is this specific endpoint of Megaforce. And so, like when I ran demos and all of that, it was very difficult for me to use things like chat.arcade, right? So chat.arcade is an application that essentially is a showcase of arcade, right? And let me show you what was happening, which was a problem and why I couldn't use it for my demos anymore, right? So I'm logged in to chat.arcade, and this is connected to internally to my project here. But my project in production is using this custom user verifier, right? So you see where this is going. Like here, I would say something like, let me see what toolkits do I have. Gmail is enabled. Okay, so I can say something like, get my latest 3 emails and summarize them, right? So this should work. Maybe. Yeah, like it's gonna say authorize, right? And it's gonna open the auth, and I would say, allow, continue, all of that. And allow. But now, it would go to verify the flow in Megaforce. And Megaforce is quite special in how it does the verification, because the verification really is meant to is for each persona rather than each user. So in that sense, my Megaforce user should not be the one verified for arcade chat, right? So I was kind of mixing the two apps, right? This is fixed now, but I need to break Megaforce in order to make this work again in my dashboard. So I'm gonna revoke this, and it's gonna break me. So at the moment now, Megaforce is totally broken, but I'm gonna create a new project. I'm gonna say Megaforce production, right? This is Megaforce's main API key, right? Main project or production project, right? Boom. I cannot tell you how happy I am that this is a thing, because it means that my app that is living in production, I don't need to collide it with arcade chat and other applications. And I already made a different one, like a demo thing. My default project now, I can just recover it, right? So what I'm gonna do now is move Megaforce to that user verifier. So I'm gonna copy this. I can just put this to arcade again, save settings, then go to Megaforce in production, custom user verifier, and we are back in track, right? It's still not gonna work though, because there are some bugs in Megaforce, and there will be I need to create a new API key, right? So I need to configure all of that and actually set that into render. So during the entire stream, actually, I'm gonna create another project here. Project Megaforce local dev, right? Megaforce in Mateo's computer, right? Here projects. And this uses a custom user verifier that's gonna be HTTP localhost 3000 verify. Right. Save settings. Right. So now I can just make a new API key and use it in my local project without any issues. Right. So this, it's awesome for something like what I'm doing, which is I want to have a production app, which I just broke for everybody, and I will fix it after the stream. Because I also want to kind of actually make the changes, and I know that the two actual users know that I would break the app today, so that's fine. First of all, thank you for using the app and like actually grinding through like the difficult bits of Megaforce, right? So the feedback that I got and what I kind of want to give people is personas are nice to have, but the kind of the main feedback I got for Megaforce is that automating the writing is interesting, and like having the value of Megaforce is loading the personas with different content, and for now we can do like tweets and so on and URLs, but the real value is to kind of have bubbles of context that the LLM can use to write about, right? So the agent that we have in Megaforce, and let me go to I don't think I have Megaforce here, so let me just open the folder. Megaforce. I don't even know if I have the latest version here. Already up to date. That's good. Just close all of that. Right. So the way Megaforce works is that not only we have a lot of things. So we have this API. This is the let me see. See the API. Generation runs. It will import. Let's see. Routers, documents, runs. I'm trying to get actually import Megaforce. Documents maybe. It's been a while since I've seen this code. Jobs. Yeah. The actual thing that runs to it is maybe here. No, it's gonna be the tasks. Tasks. So here, yeah. So this is how the agents are invoked at the end of the day, right? So Megaforce is a collection of agents, and each of the agents will gather its context from whatever you configure in the personas mostly. So the idea is, I need to configure this persona with everything they wrote, and now I will have this idea of a generation run. Like I configure something that I want to generate, maybe to talk about, and that is also like a bubble of context. So I get the two. Maybe I think I have a diagram for this. Whimsical. Videos. Yeah. Agents, I think. Yeah. So So this is the context I'm talking about, right? So this is the kind of persona input of the context. And then you would have the Reddit input, the Twitter input, the LinkedIn input, and so on and so forth, right? So not only is this incomplete at the moment in the UI, but the problem is the UI itself. Like when I go to generate content here, right? This is like I have too many things to click to get somewhere that, where I need to kind of give instructions to people, right? So that is really bad. And this is the main piece of feedback, which is the job of actually creating the content. It's nice that you can use all of these references and all of that, but putting together all of this context into one cohesive thing that I can then just click and say, generate a bunch of tweets, a bunch of whatever, and so on. That's difficult to do in Megaforce, right? Because people were like, I know that it's also very limited because we only have single tweets as output at the moment, and all of the source documents. So this is something that was annoying to do. Like if I wanted to add, for example, a generation run for a specific persona, and then change a specific thing, right? Like the way it works here is like I need to remove it, and then because I cannot do that, I need to load the same block maybe multiple times, or like do specific, kind of mental judo in order to do the specific Twitter search that I need to be effective at getting the context that I want to write about. So what I'm gonna do today is change that a little bit, right? And so I'm actually gonna update this, right? There will be our MCP server will be kind of more in the front, because I actually want a better experience for people to bring the context that they want to write about, and then be more malleable in how do you connect this to a persona, how do you connect this to a job or a project, right? So this idea, like the main ask or the more concrete ask was like, I want a project. Like I want, I have a project to write things about MCP, and I just want to update the context, right? So the volume of context there should be easy to say, like I want to include this, not include that. Like all of the grouping should be easier to do, right? And then I should be able to have a prompt input to the generator, right? So if I already have an idea of what I want, this is basically a prompt now, right? So that is missing, right? And we need to add it. So I'm gonna color it differently because this is the new piece, right? So I'm happy about I mean, it kind of changes how I look at Megaforce myself, because now Megaforce is not only it's not only, I guess, a robot thing that will generate a thing. Is more of a session, right? So it's not a configure and then kind of let it fire for a week or something. It's more like I sit down, I refine some content or whatever, I give instructions to the chat, and then I fire, okay, generate 5 tweets and a LinkedIn post or whatever, right? So this is the kind of main, kind of fundamental change at the agent level. I'm gonna implement that, right? So here is how we are gonna change that as well, right? after I actually implement these API endpoints, what I'm gonna do is allow the MCP server to tell you, hey, like you have a tool to say, hey, add this to the current project or whatever, right? So it's gonna be easy to sort of like ping pong some ideas in your favorite MCP client, and that could be Cursor or whatever you want. But it's gonna be easy to do that and then have Megaforce generate all of the content that you want, right? So yeah, I'm excited about that. And the way that's gonna look is when you generate content here, instead of seeing this, you will see the usual, something similar to that, right? So you will see a chat, then in the sidebar or the other one, you have like the different personas. And I'm still debating myself on whether I should put, prompts per combination of things. Right? It could be I have a prompt for the project, and then a prompt for the persona in this project, and then like whether to use the specific thing of the persona, or like the default prompt for the persona, or override it just for this project, right? So yeah, this is it's still, and it kind of ties into the idea of also what does the persona like style looks like. If I put all of this stuff, how does like this tweet or this thing or this whatever will influence the style of this persona, right? So all of that isn't clear from this specific thing, right? So yeah, that's it, right? So let's do it. Let me just change the settings so that we are on the streams profile and everything is bigger. Sure, why not? Uninstall. Okay, restart cursor, whatever. Okay. And this is actually already something that I want gone. Agent Ops goes away. This will be a new API key. I will need to change it later. macOS, all of that works. Okay, close that. This one, wait. We fixed this one, but we are missing the other environment files, so let me just have a look. It doesn't look like it though. Parser agents, that should be fine. This one. Yeah. Oops. It's from this dude. Then 8 tops, I don't want. Okay. Okay, fine. I think that's it. Let me just see. The way to run this is with Docker Compose, API.env, API.env, okay. There is a little list of bugs that we also need to address. Let me just get rid of all of this stuff because I actually don't remember the structure anymore. Oh, that's a lot of files. Okay. Docker. The Compose app is no longer running. Okay. No containers. Okay. Just delete all of that. Delete forever. And we also delete all of that forever. We are clean again. Let me just move this somewhere else. Save. Save. So we can monitor that at 7. Here. Actually, I want. Force. Okay. Allow. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted all of these images because I'm actually downloading all of them again, which is takes a while. It's actually building some of them, which is good. What is it saying? Cannot start service. Host version doesn't match binary version 0.11. What do you mean? Always good to have these sort of JavaScript weirdness. Okay. Whoa, I need to log in. Jesus, okay. Back to the JSON. What do you mean? Shouldn't it build this from scratch? Docker file. What the fuck? The question for me is like, why? The only thing that changed since the last time I built this successfully, actually, is that a month sort of like went by. So maybe there's a new version, but I don't see. Right? Like, where is the build dependency here? What changed? Let me see. Overrides. Is this what I want? Okay. And then rebuild ES build loaded. Is it a dependency thing? No, 20. Like, why, if this didn't change, why was it changed? Like, wasn't the whole point of this thing to sort of like lock down these versions? And if that's true, why these not get locked down back then if it was like super important, right? Okay, so for worker, API is done, worker is done. Front end building, copy everything. Why? This is strange. Like, why is it expecting a specific version if I don't? Optional dependencies. A band lock. Okay, wait. What? Maybe it's banned and I just don't need all of this crap. Let me take that. Let's remove this crap. Then try again. Was there any other file? Package, Docker file, doc. That's it. Okay. So while that is working, let me try and draw. Is it Scali draw? Or like lovable? Let me get a screenshot of this. I don't even know if I have an account in this, but why don't we create one? I love how they set the cookie for the last use, but I still don't have an account, so it's loading at the same time. So yeah. Where do you hear about us? YouTube. But I guess my company, developer, content creator, educator, design. Finish. Fuck it. Okay. Have this up, to turn it into wait, the thing is like okay, this is using stuff. What the fuck? Why? XTS config. Yes. Nothing. What the hell? Why is this? So confused. Wait. Oh. Oh. Wait. What if I just change these to ban? Should that work? I don't want latest tags. Canary Slim. Yeah, this will point to that specific version, isn't it? 1.3. 1.2. Yeah, maybe this one. So we'll see. If anybody in the chat knows what's happening with like that builder, ES builder or something, I'm not a very proficient JavaScript person, so I'm still learning, and for me it's like it just worked. If I when I changed it to band, so I don't know why, and that kind of makes me sad. But yeah, okay. Logger compose. Okay, but it works. So oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think that is a configuration thing. API base URL is that. I need to change that. API. Why did it take me to? Wait, I don't want people to see this one. That is the production Megaforce one, so yeah, not willing to set up that again. Okay, I changed it to staging. Let me just figure out what we need to do here. Authentication. Next. Yeah, this needs to change, I think. Okay. Oh no, wait. Change the song back to the funky one. Localhost 3000. Name. Detail on the phone. Why is it not changing to that? Yeah. Continue. I'll figure that out later. It's a workOS redirect thing, and this needs to take me actually to this one, but I don't know why it didn't. Oh yeah, it took me to my first attack. Oh my god. Host 3000. What the request header or cookie to large. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is what happens when you mix all of the configurations into one thing. What happened? Okay, Docker. I don't even know where to start to look for the logs. So front end, get health. Yeah, I think I know what it is now. And probably Python. I need the Alembic stuff. History. I think it's this one. Okay. Wait. Can I restart all of this? So from end, restart. Maybe I need to change my Nginx. Where is it? I don't think there is anything static here. Okay, but maybe there is here. Repeat config. Don't. I don't think we are doing anything wrong. So, that's it. Why? Okay, so if I remove the cookies, why is it sending me here? Why? That is a thing, has to be from the API. Off. So maybe, yeah, here, redirect UI. Do we have an API thing here? We don't. Yeah. So that is from the front end. Why is it telling me here? What if I remove? What the hell? This is the other. Wait. Okay. So this is going. From here. Why? I'm confused about why it's not getting. What the hell? So that should work. Let's see. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have changed all of that though. So this is the internal like Docker API base URL. So that's fine. And then what I understand from this one is that we have a proxy. Maybe like that. So we should actually like put this one, but yeah, that's correct. And, oh no, sorry, we should put this back to 3000. Also here, these back to 3000. So that's default. And oh. So that should work. If I go back and undo my API changes and I set that back to 3000, right? So, and then also API. Probably the worker as well, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So this one should be host and then sign in. So this is the thing that, why am I getting a 404 here if we are technically having the proxy in front of the thing? So it's a good question for this dude. When I run this in Docker and I click on login button, I get redirected to this, but I get that. Why is the proxy in the bit not working? Right? Because in theory, this proxy, like if I understood correctly when I did it, right? Here we are essentially telling fucking bit, right? That the API thing should go here, right? And from that we get everything, right? So all of the workOS configuration, all of the things should just flow through that API endpoint, right? I don't know why it's not working though. And what I think could be is that because I deployed this to render, that broke my sort of local environment, like the development environment, right? Which is super annoying. Like, right? And maybe it's also because like I'm using, and maybe it's a good reason to to change the agent and like move it all to TypeScript, because the only reason I'm using Python is that at the time LangGraph was better in Python, but I don't think I have a good reason to do that anymore, especially with the new changes. Like all of the orchestration that I need to do for this agent, I can do it technically with the Vercel AI SDK or any other like TypeScript SDK, and I actually think TypeScript is going to be the future of agentic development. So yeah, I don't know why the Git proxy is only applies when running away. Git in Docker. Compose. Of course not found. And he look. Yeah, I think the fact that I'm using two different like things is complicating my life unnecessarily. Right? Okay, let's try that. That gateway, amazing. Yeah. but I'm already doing that. Doesn't make sense, but let's try. There's something else, like why? Let's see the logs. Yeah, that did it, but I don't want that. Okay, that worked. No. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to turn that one into admin. Jesus. Okay. If it admin privileges, yeah. Yeah, this needs to be turned into an admin user. And I think for that I need data grid. Not that one. This one. Is that my user? Well. Let's see. Is this one? QG is the end. Yep. Change it to okay. Progress was good. Settings connect. Authorize. Good. This is something that also wait. I'm missing this. The user verification is a custom user verifier. Why? That's all right. Oh, because I need to transfer. Interesting. Yeah, you know what? This is not gonna work. I need to actually transfer my Twitter app into my connected apps, because now I'm gonna. So at the moment, it's detecting that this is the one I have, but this is not what I want. I want a new one actually, and it's gonna be Twitter. Oops. Twitter Megaforce X. And here I need to go and get that information from Twitter. So let me go ahead and do that in a different browser. XCOM developer. People are thinking, hey, what are you doing? But what I'm doing is basically getting the client ID and client secret, and I don't want to dox those ones because these are the actual ones that I use in production. So I'm gonna move that to this arcade project, but for that I have to do it in a different window, so I don't dox my credentials, because actually getting another Twitter account with a project and all of that is quite painful. It's taking ages to load though. Dashboard, projects and us. Okay. Where's my off settings? What? So that's the API key. I'm gonna put it. API key secret. Great. I think I did it correctly. We'll see. Now we should, if everything went correctly. Boom. Something went wrong. Shit. Oh my god. What the hell? Let me see the documentation, because we probably have that. MCP servers. No. We have authentication. Customer being off. X. Then get the next app. Web automated. Okay, I need to do that. Enable user set this type. Revoke everything. Account. Set up. App info. Oh yeah. This is what's missing. I have to come here, edit that. copy that callback. Localhost 1000. Organization terms are okay. Save. Sure. Okay, and now I have to do this on a different window. On this window, the client ID, then client secret, update. And that should, in theory, make it so that this works. Oh my god. Dawn, maybe? Yes, I saved it. What do you mean? Something went wrong. Nope. To give access to. Why? Let me see. Is that an arcade something? That's okay. User authentication setup. Maybe that. Something went wrong. Why? Web app confidential client. Is that one? I think it's an arcade bag though. So what I think is happening is I configured this with a wrongly. So let me try and do something. What I think is happening is that this client ID is something I didn't configure, and so I need to add a new provider with this thing. This is set it. Update this setting. Save. Then this is it of 2, and then this is my client ID, Mega Force X. I think recreating my OAuth connection should solve this. Yeah, so that is a bug, which I'm very happy I caught it. Basically what was happening is that the client, what I believe was happening is the client ID, the original client ID that I configured, was kind of baked into that OAuth provider, and even after I updated that into the dashboard, I could not actually get it to update that client ID field. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so that worked, I think, but why is it not redirecting me to my verification endpoint? So that may be another bug. So if I found these 2 bugs today, it's a possibility. Let's see. Oh, this is not the one. API. Let's see the host. One way to test it is Mateo's test persona. Then Twitter search, username Torres Mateo. Search Twitter, and that should give me some results. Yeah. So the integration actually works, but I don't think it's doing the user verification as I expected, which is a bit concerning. Right. No. I did something wrong again. Because that used Arcade's Twitter client again. So this is what I added, and it says Asana. So it should not have worked. And here, this is connected to ArcadeX, not to Megaforce X. So revoke that. There is some weirdness going on, so I'm gonna copy that. Then close this. Refresh. Change it to Twitter. Then Megaforce X. That's the one I want. I also want a different song. Here. Settings. Edit. I need to edit. Oh no. Okay, so I think that should work. And just to check, we don't have a connected user. Connect this. ArcadeX. Oh yeah, that's my app. Okay, authorize. Authorization successful. Oh yeah, that worked. This is a different thing because I don't get the flow ID in this URL. That means it actually went to my, and we can check that actually. It went here, and yeah, API v1 personas verify flow this, and then we redirected all of that. So that actually happened, which is a very good thing, a very, very good thing. Yeah, so, and this is kind of the trick of how this works, right? So Arcade will redirect to this. I don't know why we have two redirects here, but what we do internally is we add this to persona ID admin integration key, Twitter, and then this is the flow, right? So we add the persona that we want to do, right? And in this case, it's going to be the admin. That's how our application defines that this is the admin level connection, right? If I now go here and I do a persona thing, right? Connect, right? And I'm going to connect my same account, right? So authorize, for verification, and it will go here, right? So I actually want to fix that because I want to stay within the app. I don't think we need to redirect people to Arcade for that. One of the points of the custom user verifier is also allowing people to set a custom branding for their page. So the fact that I'm redirecting is just a bug. But now, if I go to that persona, we see that it's connected, right? And there is reconnect here, but I am connected 2 times to the same account. Yeah, so this is my admin thing, and it's now connected to Megaforce X, as opposed to something else. But there is a bug that the way I have been explaining user verification seems to be incorrect, because I kind of gaslit myself into believing that I was using the correct user verifier while actually I was using Arcade's connection, right? And in our docs, if we go here, I'm gonna go customizing auth, authorization, secure auth in production. Arcade's it says Arcade's default auth app can only be used with Arcade user verifier. If you're building a multi-user production app, you must obtain your own OAuth app credentials and add them to Arcade. Yeah, that is clearly not true today, but that is a bug. So don't rely on that functionality. That will be, for security reasons, like there is a specific attack that happens that you need to confirm that the person that initiated or the machine, I guess, that initiated the flow is the one that ends it, right? And I will actually kind of educate myself to explain it better. But the idea is that if you don't do that extra step, the custom user verifier, then there is a possibility of phishing. That is, I mean, the actual flows to achieve it look sound very complicated, but if you have the setup correctly, it's like a 2-click operation, and then you think you are connecting to Arcade, but you really are connecting to a different instance, and people can access your Twitter or whatever. So Twitter is maybe not necessarily too bad for most people, but It could be their Outlook or something else, right? So the verifier, the custom user verifier here, this is solving that entire thing, right? So good, right? Yeah. Okay, so we have that working, and I created a new app for this. We are using the custom verifier. We're getting the endpoints. What I wanted to show you is this. Where is the verification? Integrations. I clicked too fast, basically. Yeah. Here is where Arcade gets to us. It's verify flow, right? So this is the front end. We I know why we see two of these. This is Arcade's routing, right? We get verify with the flow ID. We pass that to the API, right, to authenticate, and then we get the flow to get the persona, right? Then API personas verify, which is the thing that actually, this is the actual endpoint that is the custom user verifier, right? That gets the flow ID, and what we do is we add a persona ID and the integration key, right? So before, that persona ID was admin, which is a special value that will set the thing. So we are saved also by the flow ID because it has to match. So it's not that you can just use any, just set admin to the persona and then replace that integration, which is also a potential security risk if we didn't have the custom user verifier. So 2 wins actually. And then that is verified. And we just, we got back here, but this should actually not take me to Arcade. So let's fix that. That's on the API, I believe. I think we are actually in personas. Verify authorization. Redirect Arcade's next if available. And this is false, I think. Actually, I want to. What do we get in the API? That's the thing. Documents. Okay. Redirect is a bull. we didn't reach this point with the waiting for completion, I think. The bug. Oh no, we did. For auth ID X. So then Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is what we get, I think. What's this actually? So in the wait, I want the button. So how does the verification endpoint look like? Next query, status, message person ID, success. Marking person as connected for integration key. So we should have seen that in the, yeah. Let me result. Okay. I'm gonna create another one. Mateo doll to another persona for Mateo. Great. Okay. Then connect. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I need more debug because it didn't reach this part. What's this if? Okay, so we should see that also in personas. Wait. So this is not. What's it? It didn't add it though, so there is a problem. Oh no, this one. Oh shit. Please adjust. Yeah, I need to fix the limbic stuff. Alright, so at the end of the day, I only managed to get myself updated with the Megaforce code base, but I'm not gonna fix all of this today because some of the fundamentals are actually wrong. I need to understand why. Because this is supposed to have all of the changes, right? But then main is supposed to generate all of this stuff as well. Let me see. base metadata, create all. Here I am already in SQL Alchemy, but these should engine. Yeah. So these should have happened. Right. I still don't understand why we are getting a redirection to that. Making personas. we should get something. Okay.
Hey there, mama, what do you need? A tool to fetch a doc to read. But before you call that API, let's keep it safe, no need to pry. Context is king and the protocol's clear. MCP whispers only use what's near. No leak, no peek, no shadow play. Just trusted calls in a sandbox way. Off hands you the keys. Scoped and signed with the right guarantees. MCP keeps the trail in view. Who called what and why it knew.
Okay. I want to console log then. Well, but that's hard because it will be redirected when wanted.
Tokens and context aligned and tight. That's how we secure the future's bite. No overreach, no silent drift. Every alt has its labeled gift. With consent and logs in every thread. No more who did this left unsaid. So call your tools and fetch your gold. But only within the rights you hold. Auth and MCP.
Yeah, here's where we are. Redirecting. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, if we are successful, just do that. Okay, so boom. If all went well, at least we fixed something. Or not. What the hell? Okay. What the fuck? Do I need to rebuild that? Probably don't.
What do you need? A tool to fetch, a doc to read. But before you call that API, let's keep it safe. No need to pry. Context is king, and the protocol's clear. MCP whispers, only use what's near. No leak, no peek, no shadow play, just trusted call.
It's actually quite a banger. It's like MCP off song. If you pay attention, it's It's about like I think it was a poem created by an LLM that I just plugged into here, and it's like it made a banger song, in my opinion. So. Yeah, so that worked. Now I want to get it back to the same persona, however. So let's see what the persona looks like. Yeah, so it will be personas, the persona ID, and then I should just get back to that. So this is gonna be persona, and I need to rebuild the front end. Yeah, nice. It's a good progress for today. Wait. You know what? All right, folks. That's it for today. I had to get myself updated into the MCP, the Megaforce codebase. So I will implement the fixes off camera because I'm too hungry to keep programming at the moment. But thank you for coming. Thank you for assisting, and thank you for the feedback on Megaforce. That's really useful. I am going to make Megaforce more MCP connected, so the MCP client will work. So the next step after I implement the feedback and the prompt and all of that will be connecting Megaforce through its API. Actually, I cannot think about anything with that song, so let me just put that. Yeah. So what's gonna happen next is I'm going to rework a lot of the endpoints in Megaforce so that it's easy to use from MCP. So I guess it's going to be interesting to build endpoints that could be just literally wrapped as MCP tools, right? Because the idea for those endpoints is going to be use them as tools from an MCP client, right? So then the MCP client that we were building before will become, I hope, the best way to interact with Megaforce. So there will be some configuration that you need to do to, set the personas, set the project, all of that. But then this will be like the main thing, right? So you will interact with your tab and then say like, hey, I want to start a new project, or maybe add this to a project, configure some very quick things here in this, and then just send it to Megaforce so that it acts on your behalf, right? So what I want to achieve by the time it's done is get an agent working here, and we did that already. So it summarizes and all of that, but I want an actual like interactive agent here that you configure your OpenAI API key or Gemini or whatever, like an open router maybe. And so that will give you the ability to use Megaforce to get the context into Megaforce in a meaningful way and useful way, right? So yeah, the UI is going to be the next, and then this MCP client is going to be next. I am thinking about reworking, like, because I need to change the agent anyway. Let me just get rid of that. Because I need to change that agent anyway, and we only have Twitter at the moment. I think we are at a good place so that I can translate the style reader and the content generator, which are two sides of the same coin, into something other than LangGraph in Python, right? Maybe I will do LangGraph in TypeScript because it's already LangGraph, and the translation will be pretty much one-to-one. But we'll see. So I'll actually ask Sergio, which is another engineer arcade. He's our UI person, to help me kind of make the full stack in TypeScript. I want to learn it better, and I want to not have to deal with a bunch of interfaces and crap that comes from using two languages in a monorepo, right? So advice from Mateo is use TypeScript if you want to build